Hi there. We're talking with the Nualas, two Nualas,
Two Nualas,
Two
but
Nualas.
not as Nualas as Sue and
as
Maria.
actual humans.
Yeah, it's Sue Nula and Maria Nula.
Subhumans.
Yeah. But
Sorry.
I suppose the first reason we're talking to you is that weekend after next, Forbidden Fruit,
Yeah.
on the comedy stage, which is a weird environment for comedy acts sometimes. Have you done a lot of rock festivals or?
Well, we haven't done Glastonbury, but
It's a rock festival.
we've done Electric Picnic.
Yeah, and that too. So you've done major rock festivals.
Yeah,
Yes, was the answer.
Electric Picnic is our major rock festival. Let's face it.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
But comedy festivals are kind of rock. There's a lot of comedians are kind of rock stars now, aren't they?
Oh,
Well,
comedy
absolutely.
is-
But actually, I believe that rock and
Rock
roll
and
is
roll.
now the new comedy,
Oh,
which is, it's just our turn for a while. But you guys kind of span both sides of that divide because you are really a band as much as you are a comedy.
yeah. We're kind of super group, comedian, super group, whatever you want. We find it hard to describe ourselves really sometimes.
Yeah, we sort of straddle the music, comedy, stand-up genre, which I suppose could be uncomfortable in some situations. But
Yes,
we
and-
seem to do it okay.
It has been torture.
Yeah.
And did you start out being musicians who found out that they were funny, or funny people who found out that they were musicians?
Good question. Well, actually, we're all from different kind of backgrounds. Maria's from a musical background, so she's a jazz singer.
Yeah, I was one of those. I was a music person that had to figure out how to be do the comedy thing.
Yeah.
Which I found is really not about being funny, which is a huge relief to me. So, and
That's what she thinks.
yeah,
Play along.
They
I
told
wasn't
me
going to say anything.
that's what they told me, and I believe them.
It's about not being funny.
But not
That's
being Maria.
right, Maria.
Maria, try not to be funny. Just sit there, play the guitar, and don't say anything.
So they told you to be effortlessly funny,
Yes,
but to make sure you were always effortlessly funny on cue.
Yes,
Yeah.
effortless did enter the conversation. So
Yeah, no, so we're all so Maria's a musical background, came on board a couple of years ago, and comedy was a new departure for Maria. But I think with all the musical stuff from Maria's side, and then myself and Anne have been working together now for about 20 years.
I was going to say, next year, technically speaking, is your 20th anniversary.
Thank you very much.
is it really? Holy
Yeah.
shit! Is it? No,
No, it's not quite actually. It's not.
Sort
Yeah.
of.
So well, we
According
got
to the masses of documentation on your career that I've encountered and the internet, 1994 is technically when you started.
It's actually 90 April 95, I think.
Oh, well, then you're nearly there. Then still, you should be still planning something,
Actually,
something massive.
we should.
Well, now that you've said it, we can't get out of it.
It's now in the public domain. The project, if you like, at the moment is One Night of Dignity. Is that right? That's the tour.
Yeah, we've got we have a kind of our little quirky names for the show. It's basically the show is kind of it's an ever evolving sort of
Animal.
Yeah, exactly. It's we're we're writing new material all the time. We're replacing new stuff with old. But then the fans want to see the old stuff, so we've got to keep a few classics in there as well.
Sure.
It's that kind of pressure to keep writing new stuff all the time, and kind of have that kind of prolific thing going on. But then it because it's song based comedy. It's a bit like going to see a band. You need to hear the old favorites as well.
So the last there was kind of a gap, was there? There was a real build up to kind of the noughties were kind of your rock and roll wilderness years.
I think it was kind of a chasm, wasn't it?
There was a kind of a gap being a decade. We weren't. Anne Hildy, who she'd been trying to get me to get the Nualas back probably for about 3 or 4 years before I actually said yes. It kind of became a running gag where she'd we'd be having a drink and she'd say, "So when the Nualas get back soon?" And I'm like, "No." Then I managed to have 4 kids in the interim as well, so that kind of took up a lot of my time. And then we had personal projects, writing projects going on and stuff like that. And then it was really weird because it was just one day she sort of said it to me again, and something kind of clicked. It was like, yeah, no, the time is right. It took the 10 years. Yes, we've had our break.
So you kept meeting in bars as you kept comedically hitting on you. You kept saying no until one day you just got to, all right.
And Sue finally just said, "Oh, all right, God, don't do it."
This is a comedic charity shag. It's like, oh, yeah, if you stop asking. It's great that she's not there.
Wow, I never knew that. And that opened a whole new dimension.
And then you got dragged into it at this point with all that horrible, complex personal politics behind it.
Yeah. But it was really interesting because then we were kind of going, okay, next stop, try and find third Nuala. And Anne and Maria had been kind of, you knew each other socially.
Yeah, we knew each other socially.
They were knocking around, and then Anne was going, "Hey Maria, we're trying to find third Nuala. Do you know of anybody?" She actually literally went home and started making a list of other
Nualas
that would fit the bill, until she kind of, was sitting there going, "Hang on a second."
Well, because you would work with pretty much most of it, not, at least a good few of those people.
Yeah.
And I know that you come looking for something new.
Yeah.
And I just said, well, look, if you need someone to fill in, while you find someone, I can do it. It's fine. And so I came and had a cup of tea. I met Sue for the first time, and we were in this very room, actually. And we had a cup of tea, and we were just chatting away. And I don't know what happened, but there was never anything else said. It just kind of happened.
Everything you described is a perfect dynamic for an actual rock band. Yeah. Wilderness chasm years, member changes.
It was talk about the thing people talk about, things just happening without them even realizing it's happened. It just kind of was like that.
It was like that, and it's a kind of really, really difficult role because, and it's just, in many ways you've got to be available pretty much all the time, but you've got to kind of join on an equal footing. Like, you can't, it's sort of like it's a bit of a risk as well. And I think for the first 6 months, we didn't earn any money. It was really tough to learn all the songs, rehearsing. We were doing tiny bars, just getting the material up and running, getting used to the comedy and trying to write material. And it was really, really tough actually for a while.
It was really hard, but also, being a musician, it was the songs. It's not just like learning songs. I'm pretty quick, I pick up stuff quite quickly, but this was completely different. Comedy songs are not normal songs because you're just not only telling a story, but it's timing. It's the comedy of the song. It's 3-part harmony. I'm also I accompany the whole show, which I wasn't doing at the beginning, but I ended up taking over that role because
we couldn't afford to pay a pianist.
But it does sound like you had potentially maybe another half a dozen Nualas, so you could do a Nuala big band with the members that didn't join at the time.
It has been
suggested.
Dozens of Nualas.
It exploded. Alas, final tap. So that's probably not going to be a possibility.
Unfortunate to hear. In terms of the characterization, it's got a very specific kind of regional nature to it. And I know you've brought it to the States and you've toured it internationally. And I would have thought that everywhere you go, there's a slightly different response, and you must at some point find yourself in character in a room full of people for whom that's not a character. If you get what
I actually think it's one of the most interesting things was taking the Nualas outside of Ireland to see the reaction. We had no idea. We really thought that this was so kind of quintessentially Irish that it wouldn't work.
Sure.
And it just works. It works everywhere. It worked in Singapore.
Singapore.
Yeah, we did the Singapore Comedy Festival, and it worked really, really well there.
Okay. I don't think any English speaking.
Expats, obviously, but
Sure, but still.
But still, I mean, New York was interesting as well. Really, the only thing that we had to change in New York were just references.
Even particularly in terms of the sort of comedy you guys do, there's cultural barriers between somewhere just outside of Dublin and the rest of the country, and there's barriers between Cork and Galway. I mean, there must be places where the shtick almost seems to be so close to the characters in the room when you're touring even in Ireland.
Well, Sligo in the West is the best, definitely.
Yeah, but when we went up to Belfast, we changed the references there too, some of them. Yeah, to suit the North, and that's just that's like up the street from here. So
yeah, it's a really strange street, though,
Yeah.
So, just in terms of touring, what's coming up next? Do some plugging. That's
plug. Gotta get the diary out, and we basically booked our autumn tour, which is really exciting. And we're kind of closing up shop a little bit for the summer.
Yeah.
After
Um,
Well, we're
Fruit,
doing
I guess.
Forbidden Fruit, then we're going to do Vodafone Comedy Festival the end of July,
in
and
the
then
Ivy Gardens.
in the Ivy Gardens, and
Okay,
then we're
that's,
doing
yeah.
Electric Picnic at the end of August.
Yep. And then we've got basically about, I suppose at the moment, about 14 dates.
Yeah.
12, 14 dates.
We'll pop up. I presume it's all on your site.
All on the website.
Yeah,
So we'll do that as well.
www.thenewlist.com.
Brilliant. But,
And we got a Facebook page too, so I just put the Nualas in and Facebook.
and then just scroll through all the Nualas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the bit is important.
Yeah.
Well, that was a seamless bit of
Yeah.
self-promotion, and on that we'll probably leave it. We're gonna grab some stuff off your recent and one of your many probably late show appearances. I think you've been on the Late Show about 78 times at this point. And we're going to see you at Forbidden Fruit. We might catch up there.
That's brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're on the Saturday, which I think is
Saturday
June
night,
1st.
yeah, 7:30.
Yeah,
7:30, ideal time, just at that point
think
where everybody's loving each other and they haven't fallen over yet.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's around 7 anyway, 7:15 or something.
7:30.
Yeah.
It's in the evening.
It's in the evening sometime.
Thanks so much for talking to us.
Thanks a million.
Thanks
See
very
you guys
much.
soon.
See
Bye.
ya.